There we go. Week 11 in the books for college football. And we talked about only a few games maybe being interesting, but golly, we had some late game drama and some big time plays, maybe some Heisman moments, a lot of excitement that went on. I think it started with the first part of the day was Indiana. I mean, Penn State, we kind of didn't know what to believe or not what to do with Penn State. 5 straight losses, no James Franklin. Terry Smith they haven't really been competitive against Ohio State the last turnout. Looked like Penn State wasn't in it, but they kept fighting. They kept swinging. They got some form of offense together. I think it's important to point out with Indiana, like Indiana's down Surratt, who's their guy. That's a big deal for them as weapons, and we'll talk about that with Oregon too. But you talk about like the Heisman moment of the season so far. I'm not sure we've seen it better. Just impressed like crazy with Indiana. Down, they get the ball 80 yards away, a minute and some change left in the game, and Mendoza did what he did against Iowa to completely take the pressure on, make the big throws. He was getting banged around, and that's I think that's one thing to talk about when we start talking about Indiana. Left guard issues with health, right tackle issues with health now. He's definitely starting to get banged up like crazy, or the offensive line's starting to get banged up. It's a big-time effect on the passing game. Surratt at receiver being banged up, so a part of that starts to come into it. But have a moment, kid. I mean, getting hit, coming down the field, strike after strike on the drive. Cooper makes the big play in the back of the end zone. Oh my gosh, what kind of catch was that? I mean, that was absolutely insane. But to do it how they did it, man, in a big moment, when you needed it, you had to have it. Mendoza with the ball comes through. How about Charlie Becker? Like, who the heck is Charlie Becker? Like, that dude had 7 catches in his career. And not only did he have 7 or 8 catches today, like big-time moments right near the goal line when he catches that one contested on the sidelines. Like, it's incredible, man. Like, guys that stepped up like crazy for this squad and made plays. And obviously Cooper, how the freak does he keep his feet in bounds? Like, I'm not even sure, or his foot, excuse me. Like, and you hear them talk after the game, man, just impressed the way they talk about their faith is always mentioned with Mendoza, but like just the moment they never throw their team under the bus. The defense had some leaks today too, and didn't play great against Penn State. But Penn State had a chance to ice the game. They had a chance to get that top 5 win. Terry Smith had a chance to get a top 5 win, which hadn't happened since 2016, and they couldn't do it. And that's kind of been the season. So that's kind of been the last however long for Penn State. So frustrating to watch. But Indiana continues to win, continue to do what they do. And if you look at their schedule, I think we looked at their schedule already and we said there shouldn't be a challenge because there's nobody any good. The health of Surratt is big time. Need to get him healthy. Offensive line needs to continue to get healthy to protect Mendoza. But Mendoza doing it without all the supporting cast. And I think you got to say Mendoza's the front runner for the Heisman after watching that today. I mean, he is for me. Just to endure all that, to have the guys in, to come up clutch in a tough environment where he was getting hit a bunch. Penn State's defense, we've talked about it, all year. They're a good defensive group. I mean, they get after the quarterback, they make plays. They chose to be aggressive near the goal line, and they came that close. That was literally like a toenail. I mean, literally like a toenail in the back of the end zone. Ref right in position to make the play. Penn State now losing 6. Frustrating season for them, but at least they didn't quit. At least they didn't mail it in. A lot of guys making a lot of money, and in this day and age that are still out there fighting, playing hard. And so it was a good day for Penn State, just couldn't finish. And all right, not so good day. I think we nailed this one. I think we absolutely nailed this one. We were talking about BYU. We were talking about Texas Tech. Texas Tech at home. And we were trying to make a case. I was trying to make a case, and I couldn't, of how BYU could win. Bear Bachmeier, my spirit animal, number 47 in the program, number 1 in your heart, the best number in college football. dude, it was tough. BYU, they couldn't run the football. They couldn't throw the football. Besides that, they were really great offensively. And Texas Tech had an answer for everything. And BYU kind of kept them in it, but with their red zone defense, like just because Texas Tech moved the football pretty well, but they couldn't punch it in. They couldn't get touchdowns, so it became a little closer. And then the shot before the half, I thought was very interesting because they had a chance to go up by 2 possessions, like 2 touchdowns, obviously, and then 2 2-point conversions right before the half. But they didn't take it. And I don't know why they didn't take it because I would have kicked the field goal, but they got the ball. Obviously, no big deal. But Texas Tech's defense, we've been talking about them since the portal, man, and the investments they made. And it has proved to be right. Like, ROI, return on investment for Texas Tech, continues to be really, really good. 9-1 for the first time since 2009. I think Brent, I want to hear you on this because I think their defense is good enough to win a natty. I really like their defense. You do too. I don't like their offense for Texas Tech. There's so much. Obviously, Morton's health is not there. He's still limping around. They can run the football. Dickey's really good. Patience, change of pace. But, man, their red zone offense continues to be an absolute abomination. Like, we need some of those numbers for Monday's show because they can't punch it in. And that's not going to pull out the games that you need to win later on in the season if you want something special to go on in Lubbock.
That was the first question I wrote down for this game was, does Morton make it through the season? Because every time you see him on the field right now, he is getting hit, dinged up, limping around. And now with Hammond gone, your backup that was a guy who came in and
looked good,
helped you win the Utah game. That's a problem for them. But the defense is legit as it gets. And if you're going to talk defensive player or sort of most outstanding player, I think Jacob Rodriguez might have an argument for that award that's titled most outstanding player. If you're going to put somebody that's a defensive player there, I think it's him right now.
Yeah,
he had the turnover creation machine.
He had the pick today and recovered the fumble. Obviously, has forced a bunch this season, which has been crazy. And you see some speed out wide for Texas Tech. Like I see guys winning. But down the field, a lot of times it's just underthrown. Williams, the running back, like he's dirty. He's a dirty receiver when they split him out. Dickey can be the great runner, and then Williams is a matchup nightmare. You find ways to get him rocking and rolling. But man, that offense is just, the defense is so good. And can they run it well enough? Can they take those shots? Can they protect Morton? Like, again, they're going to win the Big 12, I think. Like, I feel pretty confident saying that. Like, Texas Tech is going to be a problem, but if they want to be better than that, and that's a great first step. Like, to be where they were and to be ranked for the first time in the college football committee and now to be ranked higher after taking care, they clubbed the number 7 team in the country. They clubbed them, like, absolute belt to bottom. So
they'll just move up one spot.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. At least, right?
At least. And it looks like now with the way that is, and actually it's probably not the worst thing for the Big 12 for them to win. For them to be a one-loss team heading into the Big 12 championship game, and then the BYU-Cincinnati winner potentially being at least one loss in the league, but BYU maybe having one loss if they win that game against Cincinnati. Because otherwise, like, the more losses you stack up for a Cincinnati or a BYU, I don't know that they get 2 in. It might just be a one-bid league again.
I still think Bear Bachmeier is an animal. Like,
I was very impressed with him.
He's still going to be a handful. He's still going to be really, really good. He's got to be that big and to be. Remember what Morgan Scalley said. He ain't 230 listed on the program. Like, to be 250, whatever he is, to be as nimble as he is. Now, don't leap on the sidelines, young fella, because that was not.
I wrote that down.
Not a good leap. He got baptized, but no, I still think he's got some good stuff to him, and he's going to be a problem for people. Alabama and LSU, man, like, I don't. First of all, I've never, ever, ever in the history of covering college football ever looked at a box score and go, QB's 18 for 21, and he needs to take a seat. Like, I've never done that before. And I absolutely said that against Nussmeier. I know why they made the change at half. The dude's, he's not letting the ball rip. Now, did they devise it really, really well? Yes. Like, did an unbelievable job of moving the pocket, getting the ball out quick, screen game, masking it. Did LSU do LSU things? Yes. This is why LSU's been a bad football team all year. Penalties, palooza, missed opportunities. First drive, you get a stop, you get the ball for the first time, right down the field, miss a field goal. Like, it's just what you've been, and it's frustrating to watch. Alabama did not have their fastball, didn't play great. But they didn't have to. They continue to do some good things. They don't make mistakes. If you're looking at Alabama, like they let LSU make the mistakes. They've continued to consistently win the turnover margin. Like, they've only got 6 on the year, but running back started the game off dropping the football. They dropped a couple passes they shouldn't. They missed a few guys, but the 2-minute offense when they need it, man, it's really, really impressive from Alabama. Really impressive, and the defense continues to ball hawk, to make plays, and Alabama's good, but I am worried now after watching this game. I do worry more about, like, protecting their quarterback. And my gosh, man, now we saw the Big Ten. The Big Ten weather is already changing and already going to affect games. Like, at some point, the weather will affect it in the South. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But Alabama can't run the football, and it's got to get fixed. They're too good at wide receiver. They're too good at quarterback. Like, and they're too good up front athletically and big and strong guys not to be able to move people. But, the biggest takeaway for me was just, if you look at LSU and the penalties and the consistent making mistakes, it's just frustrating. You got a chance to get back in the game, and Michael Van Buren comes in, and I like what I saw. I mean, I like the arm talent's there. The mobility is way, way better. If he had already had some experience up until this point, maybe he's better and he doesn't slide on third down, whatever. Man, you got to run. Like, there's very few games left in the season. You're playing Alabama. Don't freaking slide. Like, what are we sliding for? What are we protecting our body for, man? Like, go get it. But I see the arm talent. But the guys around him, again, for LSU, dropping balls that are there to be made. Green with coming out of the end zone with a chance to keep the game close and maybe go down the field and do something. He sees the blitz, throws it right behind it, replaces it. Van Buren does, and Green drops it right through his freaking hands. And you add the false starts, and you add the fourth downs when they can't convert it because it used to be 4th and 1, and then they jump off sides and it's not 4th and 1. But if you're Alabama, you like what you see. You're consistent. The defense has consistently gotten better throughout the season. I think the offense, you're going to want to see them. Brent, we've talked about them too with Alabama, like the offensive line and the protection, and it's being an issue. And tonight it was very much an issue. And I was shocked by LSU's ability to play man-to-man coverage on the outside. Now, listen, they're the best in the country at it, so I get it. Like, but still,
I wasn't that shocked.
But Alabama's got weapons that you think can beat that. And because the problem is when you play zone against Simpson, it's a losing battle. Like, he's
protected. He's going to win. He's going to find the hole.
And he'll go through all of his progressions, and he'll stay patient, and he throws into windows like an NFL quarterback. Like, he throws into windows that people aren't willing to throw into because he's not scared to go over the middle of the field like a lot of guys are. And so this Alabama offense is dangerous. I just don't know how dangerous if you can't run the football at all and you get to a situation where you let my pass rushers tee off the whole game and just continue to not worry about the run game.
Because guess who's going to be a team that looked like they actually practice football off of a bye week as opposed to just working on everybody's mental health and gathering them around like I think LSU did. They should have actually practiced some football. But Oklahoma's going to be practicing football this week. And they will be ready, and their defense will do a lot of what LSU's defense did tonight. You have to have that balance. And the saddest part is, did you hear McDonough and Greg talking about it, how they worked on it on the bye week? They said they worked on certain things, and they worked on double teams and all this. And I'm like,
did they work on the play clock?
I mean,
running down and having to take 2 timeouts
well,
and it didn't matter if
that was
Nuss
LSU.
in there.
I'm talking about Alabama. Alabama, like they said, Alabama worked on that
had to
stuff.
take timeouts too. They wasted a couple of timeouts, and and then the red zone. Like if you want to be great and go to that next. Listen, we know Alabama's really good, and their resume speaks for themselves. But it's just like it's the net. What are we looking for? We're looking for who's going to be able to win it, and I think they're going to need some consistency in the run game. They're going to need to be more physical, and stopping the run when they play good teams will be a big deal. But LSU season,
you talked about what you
started,
said,
man.
like,
Golly,
we know they're good. Like they're 8-1, like 9 or whatever they are now, 8-1. It's about the next. It's about that. Are they SEC championship, win the whole SEC good, win 2-3 games in the playoffs, compete for the whole title type good? Because we've seen enough games now to the point where, they're good. It's just a matter of what is the ceiling for a lot of these teams.
Yeah. Well, and Texas Tech, you see.
Same discussion.
It's the same thing. Like, and when we're talking about other teams, we're like, listen, they're all going to be, who plays good on certain days is going to really matter. But I think the consistency and the ease in which you can do it.
That's the thing that I always look for is when you want to do something, can you do it? Like hey, we absolutely have to throw the ball here. It's 3rd and 8. We can protect. We can get open. All right. It's 3rd and 3. We have to run the football here or late in the game, hold the lead. Can you do when you have to actually do these things? That's what you want to see. And
I'll mention that with Ohio State later because I saw that a little bit out of them. All right. Melon time. Melon, the lid, the cap. Wear it for golf. I love my melon cap, man. It's the best hat I've ever had because Fat Boy can't sweat in it when you play golf, when you work out, do whatever. It's most hats, like they mess up. They don't. It's ridiculous. The sweat stains aren't there. The bill's not jacked up. Stays crisp, keeps the sweat away. If you want one, I'm telling you, it's worth the investment. If you want one, go to melon.com and get 30% off of your order when you use the promo code Pollack. It's not Pollock, it's Pollack. Melon.com, MELIN.com. Promo code Pollack. Get 30% off. Pick your lid out, bro. Find you one. All right, tip of the cap game. The Aggies, the number 3 team in the country. Some people thought they should be above. Some people wanted us to talk about them before now too in the chat, which I see and I love. We're about to talk about you right now. The Aggies beat Mizzou by 21. They beat a ranked team at their place by 3 touchdowns. 9-0 for the first time since '92. 3-0 on the road against ranked teams. And I think when you watch A&M, man, you see the speed and the spark, man. Like there's so much speed. There's so many guys that can house it. And it's interesting what you want to take away, but when they really need it, they can run the jet sweeps to Craver. They can throw it quick to Concepcion. They can run it with Marcel Reed. Over 200 rushing, over 200 passing. Started kind of slow, especially offensively. But here's another thing that I loved about A&M watching today. Started off slow. It's 21-7. Game's kind of still in the balance in the third quarter. And Elko says, gas to the floor. Fake punt. Freaking love it. Absolutely freaking love it. Like, we know what kind of team they are. Listen, they had given up their run defense was not great. They had 2 100-yard rushers tonight. That's not good because Hardy got it and Roberts got it. Now, they shut down the passing game. And if we talk about A&M, the penalties are still – the run defense and the penalties are something that we still probably going to talk about them moving forward. Because, again, we're talking about all these teams trying to win a championship. But the offense started slow. The defense had their back, and then the offense kicked it in gear. And, man, when they kick it in gear and they start putting it together, it gets bad in a hurry. And I love the aggressiveness. I love the fake punt. I love – you got to love this team. And the Aggies, you have to start getting past the point of looking at the past now, and we got to be like, we're freaking good. Like, and it's fun. You should be having really a lot of fun knowing that you're really, really good. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that whatsoever. You want to be excited. You should be excited. And we also get excited in the chat when we get somebody that can chime in like Rick. Game on. Appreciate that, Rick. Yes, sir. But no, Aggies fans, nothing to debate except for we're going to continue to put you up there. And I guarantee there'll be some people that say this week they just want to beat a ranked opponent on the road by 3 touchdowns. They should be above Indiana. People are going to say that. I love that Indiana found a way to win. I'm fine with that. A&M's had some sloppy games as well. That happens for everybody throughout a season. But, I also don't care. They're all undefeated. And the next undefeated team, Ohio State. Ohio State, they were down in the first quarter to Purdue. They were down in the first quarter for the first time this season. It was 3-0. And then it got real. And then they broke out the frying pan and went upside the head. No Carnell Tate, just like Surratt for Indiana. No Tate for Ohio State. And no Tate, no problem. You know why? Because you got the best player in college football. You got Jeremiah Smith. Like, who's open? 4's open every time. Double covered almost the whole game because there's no Tate. So really made it easier to defend for Purdue. But, saying I just love the patience, the intelligence, the discipline, because it does take discipline when they're trying to take a guy away that's really good, when they're staying too high safeties for a lot of the games. And this is what they've been, seeing throughout the season with Ohio State. But they do what they do because they know they're going to play good defense. They know they're going to get too high. They stay extremely patient. And I love the way they're ending football games right now. Like, run the rock, because you're going to play a team up north soon, and you're going to travel to their place, and the team that wins the rushing battle wins that game. And you're going to have to be physical enough to win up front because the weather's going to suck. You won't be able to rely on Tate. You won't be able to rely on Smith to win and throw deep balls if snow's coming down like crazy. So you got to have that physicality. Now, when you get in the playoffs, we're going to have a lot of great weather. So that's going to help. Now, the playoff games and the sites and where you play. But Ohio State stays patient. Their defense continues to play at an elite level. They run the rock like crazy. Just pound away. Late in the game, they pounded away when they needed to run out the clock. So, I really don't know what else to say about Ohio State. Like, it's business as usual. Ryan Day seems extremely comfortable with who he is. The coordinators that have come in, it just seems to be seamless. It's just you've got to be excited if you're an Ohio State fan. It's almost been too easy for the Buckeyes this year. Anything else, Brett, that sticks out with you about the number one team in the country?
The throw to Smith was about 50 yards and maybe like 15, not very far off the ground, like an absolute laser on a dot. Beautiful throw from Julian, saying that early touchdown. Like, yeah, there are throws that he makes that not many other people in this country can or do make.
Mendoza made a few on the run today that were like that too, that I was just like, that's a 6'5", 230-pound man that's running to his left and contorts his body and jumps and throws. And obviously the last throw to Cooper. But like that's why you consistently watch these two teams and they find a way to make it happen. Like
the point you made though with Ohio State about them not sweating, like that's one of those things where if you get into a situation, you trust your guys, you trust the team. There's a lot of guys that were on that team obviously a year ago, but it's a little different when you haven't lived in that, every other week, that kind of thing, where it's been complete cruise control for the most part.
Well, and you hope you get it. You always want to get it during the season, but obviously with the schedule, you don't have it. Like,
well, Michigan's going to be. It's going to be that because Michigan is always that, but it might not be in terms of at least close game. But
then you go to Indianapolis and you play Indiana,
Big Ten championship.
So, and again, Indiana's injuries are a real thing now. Like those are things that we're going to start to keep an eye on that are parts of the game, because Surratt is the game changer, because Surratt's back shoulder ball is undefeated. Like, it's not going to lose very often. And so when they get near the red, that's such a dirty play, and it's such an in-play play. How do you want to play it, man? Like, do you want to double team him? Like, you better find something to do with this play. And they've kind of got that in their back pocket with the timing. And so I think they're going to need that, obviously, to win a championship. But
one thing, real quick thing about the Cooper touchdown today.
Yeah.
Two things. I thought of Julio Jones in the Super Bowl, Like when I saw, just because of
on the
toe.
sideline,
when your body is when your body's like almost completely out of bounds, but you somehow get that one toe down was unreal. But two, the DB, he tried to punch the ball. Like you can push him out. Like
he gave him a little shove. He tried to shove him out too, but
like pushed up a little bit more so than just shove him out of bounds.
But what about the ball up high too?
Just unreal play. I saw
Santonio
Holmes, the catch he made in the Super Bowl. That was another
in
one.
The corner. Yeah, that was dirty.
So, but that was unreal catch, body control.
No doubt. Hey, trap game, everybody. Trap game. Watch out. Like, Georgia better be ready. Woof. That was the frying pan moment of the day. I sent that on an X. It was really, really funny from Monster-in-Law with Jennifer Lopez just taking the frying pan and just pow. Like, Georgia did what they did that they always do. They got down 7. Cole Kubelik actually sent that note out. Since 2020, Georgia's 28-3 when their opponents score first. 28-3. They gave up 7. Mississippi State at home. Cowbells going absolutely nuts. They have a prescription, man. They needed more cowbell. More cowbell. Georgia scored 38 unanswered. Their defense played the best they've played of the game, the best game they've played this season. Frazier had a career high on the ground at 181. It was just everything was working. It was definitely it was a balanced offense. Gunner didn't have to run the football a lot. You saw receivers making plays. You know, if you watch too closely with Georgia, it's kind of stupid at one point when you're watching Landon Roldan take a jet sweep, who's a true freshman, and then Elias Williams. I can go ahead and say this with certainty after watching him today. After watching him make one catch, he's a problem for years and years to come. He's the next tight end. He jumped up and contorted his body like this at 6'7" and caught the ball. Like the ball was over 11 feet. Like he would have easily slammed home a basketball, like easily on a 10-foot goal. And he just jumps up and catches it. And then Juan Gaston does his thing like always, and Glover. And then you got Zayden Walker and Griffin and Bo Walker. It's ridiculous. Like there's the amount of youth. And you see Georgia, they've just the Florida game was a struggle. Like that was a really, really good game, back and forth. This one was at a hard atmosphere against a team that was passing the football really, really well. Now, Mississippi State's not great up front. They haven't protected their quarterback, but I thought Georgia, you know, especially with their pressures, like I thought they did a good job cross blitzing in the middle. If you cross dogs, like they did a really good job. You could see them several times eating up the back with protection, and next guy looping around, coming to make a big play. Offensively, so much counter. And then power read with the QB and all this stuff, it doesn't make sense probably to a lot of people, but it's really, really hard to stop. And then, you know, Brent, I know you're one of the few people that were watching this and would say something like this, so I love saying it. Like, I love the Notre Dame play because that's exactly what it was. Like
he took it from Marcus Freeman.
If you watched Georgia in the playoff game a year ago, they got by Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. And here's why that play is really hard. So you got your punt team out there. So they got their punt return team. And then what you're going to do is if you run your offense on, they got to run their defense on. Well, so be it. But here's the problem. I don't know what personnel you're in. So I don't know what I need to get in. So I don't have a chance to look at, you got 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. Okay, I'm bringing in my bigger boys. And so to do that makes me have to adjust on the fly. And Mississippi State was looking like the Exorcist with their head going around in circles. And that was really what pushed it out of the game, like out of the way, because then they draw them off sides after Mississippi State took a timeout. And they did it twice. Yes, they did it twice in a row. I wouldn't have wasted this on Mississippi State. I wouldn't. I would have saved this and put it in my back pocket. But I think this is something we should see more throughout college football because it's brilliant. It's really brilliant in short yard situations because then you have the ability to say, okay, they're just trying to draw us off sides. Now we can get you on the second clap too, you know? So there's a lot of layers to it, but Kirby Smart's not he's not too prideful to take what Marcus Freeman did to him a year ago and use it, and I freaking loved it.
No coach is. Everything is borrowed.
Borrowed or stolen, yes, you're right.
Yes, 100%. But a couple of things. One, the gap scheme piece that you mentioned, a lot of pin and pull, a lot of counter.
Counter.
And they had been leaning back to sort of primarily a zone team. I think they're better. They have the horses, I think, up front to be a gap scheme and heavy team. And Nate Frazier is so much better running downhill. And he showed it today, best day of his career. The part about the blitzing and the cross dogs that I can't I'm mad at myself for not remembering this. But where does Jeff Levy come from in that offense? And you think about when you see that offense, what's it remind you of?
Well, it's the Mike Leach offense. It's the air raid. That's exactly what it is.
It's the Bryles, wide splits, and it's Heupel. Well, guess what Georgia has done to Josh Heupel every year except for this year? Like completely dominated. And there's a predictability to that. And when you would see them bring those cross dog blitzes, oftentimes it was on first down after a third down conversion, because that's when those coaches want to take play action shots, and the QB is always in one spot. So like it was almost 60% blitz today, and they got home and got some sacks. But it's one of those things where it also goes to show how much Heupel has evolved his offense, because it was a completely different thing early in this year. But that was that thing. The other thing, Noah Thomas, Zachariah Branch, like him, Branch is going to be Branch. He's going to be big time.
Branch is the dude.
But Noah Thomas starting to make plays, getting involved in the offense.
I'm tired of watching Branch return punts and kicks for Georgia. If I'm them, I'm taking him off of that, because if he gets hurt,
that's a great point.
Everything about this offense goes because everything about it he's used as a decoy. He's got over 30-something receptions in 3 games, and it's contested catches. He's learned how to be a receiver. Good for him, by the way. And Georgia now, and the reason Brent said that too, like the gap in the zone, like when you can do that stuff, and when you have a running quarterback, like now you can do all of the shoot routes off of it, where you see Lucky pull around and he's the counter guy. He's the guy that's pulling, and now he just now he loops and arcs it, and you dump it to him. Now he goes and loops and arcs, and you can run the power read. Like there's so many things that makes it really hard for a defense to deal with. And Lawson Lucky's injury, you hope he's not banged up.
I think he was okay.
I think he got the shit knocked out of him. I think he was seeing stars. I think he definitely is going to be in concussion protocol. That is for sure.
Hey, the point you made though, that's more of number 10 on the field. That's more Elias Williams. And when you can go in a 2x2 where Branch, Thomas, and Williams is 3 of the 4 guys,
broski.
Now you're.
I will say this though. I like the way Lucky blocks, and I don't know if Williams is ready for that. Lucky's has done such a good job blocking, and Lucky and Delp really, it's really based around them now with this offense, because you can do so much with those two. But Georgia's offense, Gunner continuing to play really, really well. Is he going to have some misses? Yeah, but that throw down the middle to Delp was the best throw I've ever seen him throw. Like that thing was on a line and perfectly dropped in. I was like, that was nice. Okay. Like,
do you think Georgia fans felt odd today?
Because the way it started?
Well, no, because they were like comfortable. They were not stressed. They were. It's like
used to needing some Tabasco sauce, bro.
Like it's usually heartburn extraordinaire. They were not a heartburn game today.
I think Georgia fans are all right with it. Like finally okay with not having to sweat one out, get down 7, and then just all of a sudden just take care of business. But
Kirby had to find stuff to get mad about.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what you want, right? Like, but I think this offense is sitting in a spot that leads anybody from being able to complain about Mike Bobo. So
they had almost 600 yards of offense today.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. All right, this is a candidate for game of the week, and I turned the game on and I was like, yep, this is perfect. Like Kinnick Stadium, the fans are fantastic. They're all in. I mean, the hospital wave is one of the coolest things in sports. Side note, nasty weather. I mean, it was gross, like sloppy. So you're like, all right, this is going to be interesting. How is Oregon going to handle this? Oregon down all their weapons. I mean, all their weapons, dude. They're beat to crap out at wide receiver. A common theme with a lot of teams we've talked about. But like we could go through not only Stewart to start the season, but Sadiq, who's they're probably one of their next best weapons, and more. Like the list goes on. And linemen down, like all over the place. And this turned into an absolute old school Big Ten slugfest. And I loved what Oregon did. Listen, Oregon basically said, all right, fullback, tight end, like bring it in tight. We're just going to pop you in the mouth. Like the timing's not great with these receivers probably. The weather's not conducive really to throwing the football. We're going to pound it and pound it and pound it and pound it. And man, they had a lot of success. And 230 plus yards rushing, over 7 yards a carry against Iowa. Like passing game almost non-existent, and for context, that's like 3 times what Iowa normally gives up. So they don't let you do that to them, and to line up and be more physical and do that as banged up as they were. You're probably excited about that. You should be excited about that if you're an Oregon fan. If you're an Iowa fan, you're saying we might have let that one slip, and I say that too because Iowa already did the most unlikely thing. So they had 100. I think they had 146 yards of total offense going into the last drive, and they're down. And you're thinking, okay, what do you need? You need to make sure you have time, right? Because this is not an explosive offense. An Iowa 2-minute offense doesn't exist. Okay, so they had 8 minutes, down 5. And you say, okay, because they have 8 minutes, they got a chance. They get pinned down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. And you think, oh, Iowa's got to make a lot go right. And those suckers went right down the field. Like the passing game, the protection up front by the offensive line was really, really good. And Gronowski made some plays, man. I think he went like 4 or 5, right away. They make some big plays, go down the field. They score to take the lead. And so the 2-point conversion gets tipped. Iowa had a chance to catch it and go up 3, but the running back's not used to catching the ball, so he wasn't thrown to him. That's not what they do. They don't throw to running backs at Iowa. So he didn't get his feet down, which he easily could have got his feet down off of a tip. And then Oregon gets the ball, and they've done less than nothing in the passing game. And Dante Moore, Brent, I'm not going to put him with Mendoza, because I think what Mendoza did was more clutch and more impressive, because I think a lot more of Penn State's defense. And that moment was big, and he came up big, getting hit, and I think he made 3 or 4 or 5 throws on that drive. But Dante Moore's 24-yard strike.
The one throw that Dante Moore made?
Made one throw. He made one throw. And that sucker, if you were playing cornhole and you put a board 60 yards out, that sucker threw it right through it when his team needed it the most. Not much time left ticking down, and he made. And listen, he's banged up too. You watch him take off and run, like he's hobbling. He had that long 50-yard scramble where he just pulled up and ran out of bounds.
Yep.
It's it was impressive to watch Mendoza do it. But Dante Moore, I have no doubt he is so calm and so cool and so collected. Like, not surprising he's being mentioned for the draft. Now, I think everything I've heard, he's going to stay. But that big time moment, man, that was big time for him, bro.
It was just a phenomenal game and a phenomenal win for Oregon, considering all the injuries that you mentioned. No Decory Moore, no Sadiq, no Harkey, like the other receiver went down like in the first quarter or something like that.
First drive, yeah.
Yeah, and to physically pound Iowa like they did, that was as good as it gets. I will say, I was sitting there like that was the best game of the day, outside of the finish at the Indiana game. But watching Lanning just be cool and calm on the sidelines when I'm like, dude, maybe take a timeout here. Are you sure you don't want to take a timeout here? Because they had 3.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to take a timeout before the 2-minute when Iowa was getting close to the end zone. Because I also thought, could that have been intentional grounding on that little jump pass?
Third and goal.
Third down.
It should have been. It absolutely.
Nobody went out for a pass.
Well, here's the thing, and I thought Gary Danielson made a great point on the broadcast. Like, you just called a timeout.
He's so good.
But man, Iowa, I'm sorry. Like, the next team we're going to talk about is Auburn. Like, Iowa and Auburn. Like, I mean, you know it's going to happen. Like, and Gronowski's such a big sucker, and he's such a good player at running the football. But he makes 5 to 7 throws a game that I'm going, my high school quarterback can make that throw. Like, on the run, it's like, and it's so bad it goes like in the dirt. Like, it's not even catchable, right? Like, it's a couple of those a game. How do you go? And he snapped the ball a couple times, I think, out of rhythm when he needed to wait a little bit and let his guy clear. And then you do that out of a timeout. I'm like, and the offense is so much better than it used to be, and it's so much more diverse in the run game, which gives them such a chance to be successful. But Iowa fumbles. They're one of their Weegen is their guy, right? Number 21, the little light-skinned joker, bro. That little white boy makes plays all over the field. I mean, he does. He's scored in this game. He's scored every way possible. But that fumble inside the 20, and then he fumbles inside the 20 when they're going to score, and they snapped it over the punter's head to start the game. Like, Iowa made a few mistakes that Oregon did not. Now, Oregon threw the pick in the end zone, which was a mistake. But Iowa, you can't win these games against guys that have much better players than you if you make those mistakes. Like, don't snap it over the head. Don't fumble the football. Like, those are plays that you're looking at yourself and you're going, man, we should have had a chance to win this football game. Like,
you know who else made plays in this game? Atticus Sappington, the kicker, clutch
money
in that weather and that and then the Iowa kicker made the 58-yarder. That was insane. That thing was a line drive.
I thought they were stupid for kicking that.
I did too. I wrote that down. I'm like, why are you kicking this? And then I'm like, drills it.
But it's not the most impressive kicking thing I saw today, though. I'll give you that one later. But he was really, really good. But
yeah, hey, big win for Oregon because coming up, they got Minnesota, SC, Washington to finish.
Yeah, Washington just looked a little different today too. That was a big loss. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, Vandy and Auburn. The non-zero chance for Brent survives. It lives. Pavia is going to now graduate from Vanderbilt. Well, I don't know. He's probably already graduated 6 times. He's been in college for 30 years. But he's now 3-0 against Vanderbilt. And, dude, he was – Auburn, excuse me. Sorry. He was on a heater today. I mean, he was spinning it. Auburn's and finds a way to lose. I'm not gonna get into all of it, but like I thought Auburn, they came out, they were absolutely prepared. They looked really good offensively. It's the best we've seen them look offensively. They sped the tempo up. It looked good. It felt good. It felt patient. Everything was going their direction.
Daniels played well.
And then all of a sudden it kind of stopped. And they stopped making plays, and Vanderbilt adjusted, and they kept doing what they do, making penalties and making dumb mistakes. Like, that's the problem. Like, I'm sitting there I'm watching this game at the end of regulation with my 17-year-old son. He's like, Dad, you know what's going to happen here, right? I was like, what? He was like, something bad. And I was like, bro. I was like, man.
That's hard.
But he's right. Like, and at the end of regulation, they get the face mask that I think is going to set up the field goal, but they get the huge blessing, and it's 38-38. Vanderbilt decides to go crazy and go for it and not kick the field goal. So be it. Like, okay, Pavia runs sideways, trips. Auburn gets the ball with less than a minute, no timeouts left. Go down the field, could possibly kick a field goal. They got it. They got great field position. And then they run one play, and then guess what? They jump off sides because we need a 10-second runoff because we can't handle it. Why would we do it right? Like, and a team that does no huddle and that went no huddle all game, all of a sudden the tempo isn't. Like, how do we not know what we want to do with the tempo?
Let's just say it wasn't a good week. It's not been a good couple weeks for the whole interim coach thing.
For anybody?
In a lot of places.
Yeah. I mean, it
hasn't. Just there.
But I tell you what.
LSU looked very unprepared.
And I feel really bad saying this, Auburn fans, and please, I apologize in advance. if I watch this game and I'm somewhere else in the country and I'm a really good program and I have a really good quarterback, I'm going to get Cam Coleman.
Oh, gosh,
I'm going to get Cam. Like, I don't know why he's got to be number one on the board when it comes to transfer portal receivers. I apologize, Auburn, but the play he made.
They know it. They already know it.
The play he made to tie the game when he didn't see the ball. The sucker couldn't see the ball. He had a defender coming through one-handed. So now it's 36-38. They got to go for two. And they just throw it to him again, and he one-hands it again to tie the game. Like, unbelievable. Cam Coleman's just unbelievably good. Like, it's hard for me to not watch their offense and go, okay, just throw it to 8. Like, the 2-minute drill. I was like, just throw it to 8. Like,
yep.
and they don't, and they don't, and they don't. Throw it to 8.
McElroy was talking about, hey, why not just throw it to the trade as green? Just throw it to 14. Just whatever.
And then he drops it.
14.
And they dropped it right there.
Do you think any college football show in the previews in the preseason put Vanderbilt in the can make the playoffs category like we did?
I very
or
seriously
were we Lone Rangers there?
I mean, first of all, you get all the credit for that. It definitely wasn't me. But
hey, it's still a chance.
It's still a chance.
But Kentucky's playing better.
Well,
sorry, Florida fans.
Here's another thing too to look at when you look at Vanderbilt. Like, Pavia's starting to pass the football really great recently. Like, everybody wanted to talk about his Heisman numbers, and you know me, like, I'm going to slap you around if you're going to tell me lies. His numbers were not good about throwing the football against SEC competition. And then he throws for almost 400 the last 2 weeks against Texas and obviously today against Auburn, who hadn't given up 24, and they gave up over 40. They gave up 45. Like, and I was blown away by the lack of discipline and the poor defense of Auburn. Like, leaving their feet consistently, twisting and stunting and getting out of gaps. Like, hey, Pavia's going to run, bro. Like, it's almost like we didn't talk about this week. Like, his best play is his scramble. His best play is the second play, his backyard ball. Like, you need to have a plan to keep him in the pocket, to mush rush, and then guess what? Another thing that you do is from the backside throw. That's where you can do some of that looping and stuff. But like, it was very, very ungood defense by Auburn for a team that's been so great throughout the season. Stowers is a baller, by the way. Like, that dude, oh my gosh. Like, he might be the first Vanderbilt player taken really, really high outside of Jay Cutler. Like, he is, I mean, that dude is Freaky Friday. He's unfreaking believable. Catching the ball, getting hit, getting open, strong hands. Like, Stowers might be the first taken. Him and Michael Trigg both destroyed Auburn this year, and both are going to be very high draft picks. But Auburn had a real chance to win, and they got Pavia. But that's not the first time you got Pavia. So it's happened several times. But the 10 penalties and just playing the worst defense you've played when you finally played offense. I mean, come on, man. Like, golly, just bad timing, which kind of whatever. But all right, next. Notre Dame, Navy. We don't need 2 minutes on this. We don't need long on this. We had CJ Carr on this week. The weather looked miserable, by the way. It looked absolutely terrible. And CJ Carr said, like, when I tell you that Jeremiah Love is a freak, Jeremiah Love's a freak. There's basically a 12-foot wall that nobody can touch in the building. He just jumps up, walks by and just leaps up and touches it. And he ran a play in this play that, okay, so I left today going, the best player in college football is Jeremiah Smith, and I'm not getting outside of 5 with Jeremiah Love.
It's a good name.
I mean, I want to be Jeremiah. But he took a 3-yard loss and took it, 84 or whatever it was, or I think it was 48 yards. Like, just no business getting a yard, like singular. And the dude houses it by staying on top of another body. He always does the ninja jumps and the ninja flips. Notre Dame continues to look good. I don't think Navy's that good, but Price and Love and Brent, another preseason thing we talked about that got a lot of attention, like a lot of negative attention for C-ball get
for
ball.
you.
We got I got slapped around by, like, how do you not put Penn State as the best running back duo? because Price and Love are the best running back duo. That's why. Because they're super freaky, and they're like everybody was pissed. Only 2 backs in the country over 900 yards, over 10 touchdowns. And here's the thing about Love that makes me say that even more. This isn't Notre Dame's offensive line from a year ago. No. He does it. You have to get skinny. You have to make people miss. It's more like it's more like this though with them. It's more like 1, 3, 48. 5, 6, 1, 94. But he's just got that lightning in a bottle. They don't run it at an elite clip consistently. They don't road grade you the whole game. But the body blows add up. The passing game is better. They can get guys out of the box now if you want to. So Notre Dame continuing to win, and then we'll have
game against Pitt next week.
Pitt wins again, right? Like Pitt's riding a heater. Like Pitt's playing well. Like we talked about. Good for them. Like who'd they lose to, Brent? Point to it real quick.
Oh, that's right. They've lost to West by God, Virginia.
West by God of Virginia. Speaking of ACC and Pitt, my goodness, like we're going to get weirder because, of course, Cal goes across the country, and JKS, because we're not saying his name.
I can say it. Jaron Keave Sangopulatele.
God bless you. JKS comes across the country, throws for like 350. Brian Harsin, Auburn fans, just put that in your pipe and smoke it. Brian Harsin over there dialing up plays. They come across the country in walk-off fashion on 4th down and 2 in OT, right? Or in OT. They literally 4th down and 2, screw the field goal. Like, screw the tie. Like, we're going for the dub. We came across the country. We want to go home. I'm going to give it to my best guy, and I'm going to throw it to Jacob DeZeus because that's the guy who threw it to the whole game. He had 15 for like 150. And that cool Louisville team we talked about doing some things and being underrated, thank you for making us look stupid. We appreciate that because they gone.
No Brown. Brown's hurt. He's out for a while.
Yeah, I love that. That's always interesting when they say that stuff. But 29-26 Cal, Miami took care of business, and Miami says, hey, guys, I'm back in this debate, which we'll talk about too, because I don't know if you know this, Brent, but like all the committee work they made us do back in the day. So like they only use head-to-head when the teams are close. So they have to be like within the 3-team spectrum. So Miami was 8 spots away from Notre Dame. So they didn't use the head-to-head criteria. Miami keep winning. Louisville goes.
3 teams lose ahead of them.
Louisville goes down. Virginia goes down today, 16-9 over Wake Forest.
Chandler Morris got hurt, and it was done. They were done.
He got hurt in the second quarter, and it definitely was a struggle. But how about Wake Forest? They walk off on a long field goal against SMU, which was a great win. Wake Forest should have beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech got bailed out, got lucky as crap. It is what it is. Georgia Tech, you're a good team. Don't at me, but I'm just saying you got lucky. You were offsides. You cheated. Yeah. Like you didn't get caught. It's not cheating. If you cheat and you don't get caught, it's fine. Like I'm fine with that from a defensive perspective. But Wake Forest wins. They return a punt. That was the offensive touchdown in the game. Yep. There was no offensive touchdown. None. And then they kick 3 field goals. That's my man for the kicking. Like Wake Forest kicker, hits a walk-off like 60-yarder against SMU and then hits 3 today, big time. So, I mean.
2 kicker mentions today or tonight.
That's too many usually. But Miami takes care of Syracuse and very much back in this because Virginia loses, because Louisville loses. So this
predicting who's going to make the ACC championship even? Like Virginia plays Duke next week. So that'll knock one of those teams, which Duke lost
Duke just lost today to UConn.
But 3 of their 4 losses are non-conference.
Yep.
So they can still be the ACC champion potentially.
They still can't stop a nosebleed either.
And then so the Pitt Georgia Tech game that'll decide probably one spot of the championship.
And then Miami.
SMU's kind of sitting there. Miami's got 2 losses. They got no shot, especially with the SMU loss.
Hey, I don't need a shot. I don't want a shot if I'm Miami. Y'all have at it, broskies.
I would agree.
I don't want a shot. I want to sit on the outside. I want y'all to play. I want to just go ahead and get in the playoffs.
We need to find that. Maybe there's a website for that one too. Much like there was the SEC one we looked at. I'm pretty sure there's an ACC one. That one probably is even worse to deal with. There is.
Yeah.
There we go. That one's crazy, but
we'll work on that. That's perfect for this week. But how about another one that just played their way out of the playoffs with Washington and Wisconsin? I love this. Like I love feel good stories in the sport. There's not a lot of them. Wisconsin made a cognitive decision, a conscious decision this week to keep Luke Fickell and to invest in the program. They're not investing in the program. They're not buying the buyout. They're going to buy players, and they're going to go get him better players. And when Luke Fickell had better players, not a surprise he took them to the Final Four when there was a Final Four. So I like that approach. Everybody else is firing their coaches and paying them hundreds of millions of dollars to go away overall in the whole grand scheme of things. And they're like, no, we're going to invest, which Wisconsin needs to do. And Fickell's quarterback didn't finish the game again, which continues to be a trend that I don't know how you fix that crap. Like, that is just unlucky as crap. But
the punter had the most passing yards.
Yes, which is crazy because their QB got hurt. But they block a kick. The defense comes up big. They somehow find a way to win, and they beat Washington 13-10. Washington will be on one of our segments this week. I'm going to go ahead and ruin that surprise now. I'm not going to name what segment it is, but that was big time for Wisconsin, man. Like, good for Luke Fickell, for the program to back him, and then more importantly, for the players to back him. That's what you need to be excited about. If I'm a Cincinnati fan, my dudes just went out there and fought their heart out. They ran the ball better than they have all year. They played quarterback roulette. They played great on special teams, made plays on special teams to stay in the game, stopped the run, got some sacks, and created some turnovers and won the game. Like, heck yeah, beat a ranked team for the first time since 2021 at Wisconsin. Like, it's on freaking Wisconsin. Actually. Get jacked up on Wisconsin. Great job. Loved it. All right, we got to wrap this puppy up. God, we're close to an hour. I bet Wes is so pissed right now. Wes produces this. He's like, stay between 40 and 50 minutes. Sorry, Wes. All right, G5. This is awesome. This is awesome. Like, G5, just take a hunk of poop and throw it on the wall because it's a she show. Like, it's an absolute she show. I don't know what you want this to be. Memphis, you're out of the 12 spot. I do know that because Tulane just bent you over their knee, beat the crap out of you. After Tulane just got the crap kicked out of them by UTSA. Yep. And then North Texas is in the mix, and they gave up almost 70 to USF. USF has Navy next week. I got nothing. Go ahead, Brent.
San Diego State is getting beat by Hawaii right now.
Hawaii.
So James Madison is kind of hanging around there too. That's another one. They got to win against Marshall.
Someone has to make it. Someone has to go. That's the next rule change. I like the bye we did. Now, like, if you're not ranked, like last year, Boise was a good team. Boise was a good football team. They deserved to be in it because they were good. Maybe not be. No, they definitely didn't deserve a bye. They didn't deserve that.
They deserved to be in the playoff.
They were a good team that deserved to be in the playoff. I don't think I can say that now with anybody else. So, like, I don't even know. I don't know what to talk about that.
If this was college basketball, what's is it RPI? Is that the thing that they always talk about in college basketball?
Yeah, the index.
Whatever it is that that number. Maybe you got to be above a certain line. Create some sort of line.
You got to actually play.
You got to be above a certain line to do that.
Which USF would be great at that because they played Miami, they played Florida. Oh, Florida! Woo!
Bad
Florida.
Day. They had their spirited effort last week against Georgia. Now it's. Like, they even took Lagway out of the game.
Well, they should. Like, watching Nussmeier, watching Lagway, like, I think Lagway had 3 picks in the first half. Like, Mr. Mark Stoops earning his job, like, keeping his job. Crazy effort for him down the stretch, but woof, Florida. Golly, man. I'm really sorry, guys. Really
One
sorry.
last thing, little rant.
Oh, you got a rant. I love pissed off Brent. Give me some pissed off Brent. Let's go.
Some coaching just malpractice this weekend. Like, I'm watching Northwestern USC on Friday night. Northwestern in the third quarter is down 7 and in USC territory. They take a timeout. They're on the 40-something of USC. They take a timeout, and then they punt. USC in 2 plays is like 60 yards back down the other way. Do you think you're going to win this game by punting? When you're the better team, maybe, but you're not. Like, that's just malpractice. I wrote game over. But USC scored a couple plays later, and I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. Turn that game off. Penn State, what are you doing taking the timeout on that last drive, dude? You only need a field goal to tie. Like, the moment got too big for you. You clock that thing so you can still use the middle of the field and maybe get a chance to kick one as opposed to have to throw the Hail Mary. Missouri, drink at the end of the half. You're down 7-0, or you're down 7-0 to A&M. You are hanging around when your quarterback is doing absolutely nothing, your true freshman quarterback. They get a big 3rd and 1 with Roberts, and then 3 straight passes, the third of which is a strip sack, almost touchdown the other way, game over. Like, know the situation. And then we already talked about Mississippi State peeing their pants when Georgia ran on the field a few times. Like, it's just – stuff like that where it's like, no, even LSU tonight, where it's just like, gosh, do you want to win the game or do you just want to hang around? Because so many of these guys don't necessarily want to win or at least look at it in a way that, hey, how am I going to win this game?
No.
That's the rant. End of rant.
Well, I mean, I wish it was that easy too. As a coach, I think it's way tougher than you.
Oh, it always is. It's in the moment, especially
to control all that stuff. But I do think that's why you got so much time, and that's why you're getting paid all that money, and you have so much staff is to address and listen. The great teams, they have that addressed. Like they do that well. But it will be now more than ever with all this competitiveness. Like it's gonna mean more than ever because. There's just so many teams that are still in this, which is awesome. So head to toe legit said he liked your rant. Well, if you want more of those rants, see ball get ball this week, baby. You'll get it all week.
Monday,
man.
8:30.
Monday at 8:30 is the next one. So we'll cover some more stuff, talk about some big numbers, play the same things we talk about during the season, man. This new week. New games, new things to talk about. Hit like, rate, subscribe if you continue to like the show. We appreciate everybody that's doing that. We continue to grow, and we will see you guys in a couple of days.